Oh, hello. So I want to talk to you a little bit about emotional support animals because that's a topic that's kind of in the last couple of years it's gained popularity across the nation, and it's hit Western Illinois University. A lot of students will come ask you how and if they can bring a pet to campus. And what we want to do is that first line of communication needs to go to our Disability Resource Center. They'll be able to talk to the student and assess whether or not they truly need that animal. If it is warranted that they do need the emotional support animal, they'll go through a variety of paperwork with housing, including providing vaccination records and notes from a vet. Some animals, like turtles, reptiles, may not have vet documentation, but we'll work with them on a case-by-case basis. They'll do all that through housing and dining through DRC. When they get back to your floor and to your community, there's a couple things that you need to be aware of. First, they'll actually get a sticker on the door, and it'll be up on the left-hand corner. It's a simple white sticker that says approved animal inside. That's notification for you as the RA, for individuals on your floor, as well as maintenance staff and anyone else who's on that floor, that animal's been approved, so they don't have to turn the person in, or they understand that animal, especially a tradesman walking into a room, they can be aware and not be startled that animal's in there. That'll all come through again through housing and dining, but you may see those on your floor. The other important thing is during emergency procedures, they are expected to follow the protocol just like anyone else. So during a fire alarm or even a tornado, they're to evacuate the building. Can they take the animal with them? Sure. But if they're already outside the building, can they re-enter to get the animal? No, they cannot. It's important that those requirements and agreements are discussed, and they'll do that through your complex director. But just so you're aware on your floor, that's how we handle emotional support animals at this time. So keys are another important thing that we have to manage within facilities. A lot of keys, a lot of access around campus, and because of that we need to monitor it and make sure that we're giving out keys, tracking those keys, and make sure that we're creating a safe and secure environment for the students. When students check in, they'll get 2 keys, an access key and a room key. In a building like Corbin Olson, their access key will actually be their ID card, which is programmed for their room or for their floor. And they'll use that access key in any building or their access card to access the entry into the building and up those elevators. In Corbin Olson, they actually are used in the stairwells as well, as that's the only building with secured stairwells at this point. If a key's misplaced or lost, we will replace that. Room keys are $50 and exit keys are $25. And they can, let's say they accidentally locked their key in a room or misplaced it over a break, came back, and you know where it's at, but they didn't have it then and there. We do check out keys at the information desk. But again, it's important we track those keys and make sure that we're getting those keys back. If a key is misplaced or we just can't find it, we automatically do a record, and that's just so we know that those rooms are secured again. So we do a lot of records a year. Anything that we can do, anything you can do as an RA to help to lessen those would be a big help to us. And so if residents are not allowed to hand off their keys, so if that's ever found, that's a violation, and they will be judicial for that. And if there's ever a problem with card access, like in Corbin Olson, they would then go to Seal Hall and talk to our access control person or a technical support associate who would help provide that access to the student. There might be some times where a student accidentally overloads a circuit. The buildings, as we know, as I talked about earlier, they're old and they're still standing beyond their anticipated usage. The mindset was years ago that they'd build them in 30 years, they would be no longer needed, and they tear them down. Well, we're still here today, and because of that, the same electrical services in there. So I know outlets are limited in the rooms. We encourage surge protectors as well as gauged electrical cords, and so that's all on the website. But if a student does trip a breaker, we do have a policy in place that allows for us to flip that breaker at least one time. The reason we limit it to one is if it goes more than one time after you've already followed up with the student, there might be more or worse issues in the room rather than just a trip breaker, and we want to get an electrician or someone that knows what they're doing to take a look at it. So if that happens and a student comes to you the one time, what you want to do is go to your closet on the floor to the electrical panel. You'll look up that person's room and you'll simply flip it over. If it's tripped, it would be in the off position or in the middle as it's tripped, and you would just flip that to on, and that should reset the breaker. What you want to do is not stop there, but then follow up with that student. Check and see what they got plugged into that outlet. If they've got a fridge, a TV, a stereo, and then they go and plug in their curling iron or a hair straightener or something that pulls a lot of amperage, that might be the catalyst of why it's tripping. And so we want to make sure that we distribute that load so it doesn't keep reoccurring. Students don't want to trip breakers. We don't want to have to keep messing with them. An electrician certainly doesn't want to come out on overtime to work on a trip breaker. So we want to do what we can up front to try to mitigate that, and again, distribute that power around the room so it's not on one circuit. On occasion, after hours or a situation maybe late into the evening, when a custodian may not be on your floor or readily available on campus, you may have an incident where you might have to help put on that custodial hat yourself. And that's where one of the examples I always use is a Snapple bottle incident from several years ago. We called somebody in because there was a Snapple bottle on the ground, and we thought, okay, it's broken. We don't want somebody to cut their hand on the glass, or it's got a big spill because we need to clean that up. So we brought in overtime to clean that up, and all it was actually a physical bottle, not broke, but a physical bottle that dripped on the floor. And that could have easily been solved with us just getting a paper towel in the bathroom, wiping it up. On other occasions, you might have to get maybe a mop or some other materials. On your floor, you'll have a custodial closet. In that closet, you have their cart with their tools on it. I'm not by any means asking you to be the custodian on that floor, but on occasion, we may have to do a small pickup or do something that's clean, a little bit of cleaning, even a vacuuming down the hallway if we've caused an issue. For vomit, blood, things like that, we would stick with bringing somebody in that's been trained to pick up the bloodborne pathogen training. But some of those other little things that you're going to see on your floor, please take the initiative and maybe take the time to clean them up yourselves. That saves us time, it saves us money, and it keeps good relationships and partnerships with the building service workers.